Hey, it's Emily Williams, the founder of I Heart My Life and your host of the I Heart My Life show. This is episode 169, 6 Figures in 6 Months, part 1. So I wanted to share this incredible series that I recorded actually about 5 years ago at this point, because it's something that people tell me time and time again that they absolutely loved. And it's been a while since we've actually shared it. So we wanted to bring it to the I Heart My Life show for all of our listeners to really dive into this incredible content and truly understand what it takes to make a 6-figure business, as well as continue to scale beyond that level. So in this first episode here today, I'm going to be sharing a bit about my story. I'm also going to give you a clue as to 2 big things that I did to actually get started on the path towards my dream business. Because for most people, getting started is one of the hardest things in the world. There's so much fear and doubt and guilt and insecurity that comes up. So I personally had to move through all of that in order to move forward towards my dreams. So I'm going to share exactly how I did it. And then over the next few weeks, we're going to be sharing the other parts of this series. There are 4 in total. So you're going to get the whole picture and some incredible content that will support you in building your own dream business. And of course, creating that financial abundance that you are craving. So let's dive in. Are you a coach looking to hit that coveted 6-figure milestone? Are you looking to better understand how to map out your revenue so you actually reach your financial goals in the coming year? Do you want to get more clarity on who your ideal client is, what program is going to help you get financial wins, how to shift your mindset to become that 6-figure earner? If so, keep listening. I'm hosting a brand new masterclass called How to Create a 6-Figure Coaching Business this year on January 18th, and you are invited. All you have to do is go to iheartmylife.com/6/figures. We'll put the link in the show notes, don't worry, but that's iheartmylife.com/6-figures, and you'll be able to sign up for this incredible training. So we really believe that anything you desire is possible for you and meant for you. And that includes wealth and abundance. So if you want to know how to make it a reality this year, that 6-figure level or even more, this training is going to show you exactly how to do that. I'm also going to take your personal questions. So you're going to want to tune in live. All right. So go ahead and sign up iheartmylife.com/6-figures. And make sure to save your seats. We are so excited to see you there and support you in your next level growth. Hi, everyone. It's Emily Williams. I'm a success coach and the founder of I Heart My Life. And this is your 6 Figures in 6 Months training series. So I'm really excited about this one. To be honest with you, when I first started my business last year in 2014, I really thought that my main goal was just going to be to make 6 figures before I was 30. And that birthday is actually still 10 months away. So I've already hit 6 figures in the first 6 months in my business. And now I'm ready to share with you everything I did to make that happen. This is a 4-part training series. This is the first audio in the series. So I'm going to do a bit of an introduction today, just so you can understand my story, my background, why it is I do what I do, and just so we can become fast friends. How's that sound? Great. And so I assume if you're here, you are interested in making 6 figures. Maybe you've been struggling with money. Maybe you're in debt. Maybe you know that something has to change because you're definitely not living the life that you've always wanted. I resonate with all 3 of those things, frankly. And literally 6 months ago, my life was completely different. I was someone who was about $32,000 in credit card debt. And I also had student loans on top of that. And I felt a massive sense of guilt because of that debt. So often we grow up, with our own money stories and beliefs around what's right and wrong in terms of our expenditures, and our debt. And of course, I was brought up with certain beliefs as well. So we're going to be talking about that a bit in the 4-part training series. But right now, I just want to talk about how I even got to that point, being that $30,000 in debt, in addition to having student loans on top of that, because my story is really where this all begins. And I know as women, we often resonate with other people's stories. And so I just want to build that connection straight away. So for me, the first thing I want to really talk about is how it's really important to say yes to your dreams, even if you don't know exactly where they're going to take you. And so I definitely would not be here in London, England, as a six-figure business owner, as a success coach, helping other women create businesses if I hadn't followed my dreams and literally, said yes to stepping up to the plate, even though it was completely unknown what the result was going to be. So my whole journey actually started when I graduated from college, and I was about to go to Northwestern in Chicago. It's one of the best schools in the US. And, I had gotten in and was about to start a counseling psychology degree. And I had done psychology for my undergrad and thought that a master's in counseling psychology was the next logical step. So I applied to 12 schools all across the US and got into all of them. And I had to go, I talked my parents into letting me go visit all of them just to see how they felt and just to see, what the right fit was for me. So I eventually decided on Northwestern. And like I said, was about to go and get a counseling psychology degree. And it was going to be a 3-year program. It was going to cost $100,000 for the tuition alone. And then obviously more to live in Chicago. And from there, I, had planned possibly about getting a PhD. I wasn't really sure, but I knew I wanted to do the master's or so I thought. So I was literally driving there to find an apartment in the city with my mom. And we were on our way. We were about 2 hours into the drive from Ohio to Chicago. And I had this feeling in the pit of my stomach. And hopefully, not hopefully, but I'm sure all of you have felt this before, that feeling of like something isn't right, something isn't resonating, something isn't connecting for me. And that's how I felt. So in that moment, I was trying to cover up any sort of emotions I had from my mom, but I couldn't. And so, a mother always knows. And she asked me what was wrong. And I just told her I wasn't sure that it was the right decision for me. After everything that I had been through in terms of, traveling around the world to visit these colleges, I told her, I'm sorry, but I'm just not sure. And I feel like for an $100,000 investment, in 3 years of my life, I should probably be pretty sure. So luckily she understood, and we turned the car around and went back to Ohio. And literally I marked that moment as the second my whole life changed course. And so, it wasn't necessarily all smooth sailing from there. In fact, it wasn't at all. I went back to Ohio and literally entered into a quarter life crisis. Didn't know what I want to do. My mindset was definitely in the gutter. I was very much a negative person. And I was just so lost, and I had all this pain. I didn't know what to do with my life, basically. When you're taught your whole life that you can do anything you want and you have incredible parents who believe in you, that's such a blessing, but it's also a lot of pressure. And I was my harshest critic. I put so much pressure on myself to be perfect, to have it all figured out. And frankly, at 22, that really isn't normally the reality. I just didn't know that. So the one thing I did know at the time was that I wanted to live in London. And this was a very strange realization for me because frankly, most of my family, except for a few, have never really left Ohio. There's sort of a place where you're born and raised and you stay there. And it's great. It's amazing. But I knew that I always wanted to live in London. The moment I stepped out of Victoria Station, when I had gone to visit a friend a few years before, I knew that London was somewhere that lit me up. I felt connected to it for whatever reason, and I knew I had to get back there at some point. And so with the whole quarter life crisis, I was single. I didn't know what I was doing with my life. I was like, okay, well, what could be a better time to move to London than now? So I applied for a master's degree in the UK, and no, it was not in psychology. It was actually a master's in nonfiction writing. The other thing I realized during that time was that I'd always wanted to write a book. So I applied for that and got in. And in August of 2010, I packed up 4 ginormous 100-pound suitcases and moved to the UK all by myself. I didn't know anyone. I literally arrived, checked into a hotel, and then started searching for an apartment by myself. And because my student loan money hadn't come in yet, I actually had to move into a hostel. when I didn't find the perfect flat straight away. And so I was living in this hostel. It was a very strange one. In fact, where I had to put all of my luggage and everything in the bathroom because the actual room wasn't big enough. So I was there by myself doing God knows what, trying to find this apartment. Finally, I found an apartment about 25 minutes away from the place where I was staying. And it was, like basically the size of a closet with the kitchen and the bathroom and the bedroom pretty much all in one room. But it was all I could afford, and it was in Kensington, which is exactly where I wanted to live. And so I signed the papers and that was done. And so I moved myself from the hostel into the apartment. And because I didn't have any money, I decided I wasn't going to get a taxi. So I lugged all of my luggage back and forth. It took me 3 trips and up 4 flights of stairs in the new apartment. And I literally arrived in a big, big pool of sweat and stress and all of that horribleness, right? But I was there and I was following my dreams. And the thing is, when I moved from Ohio to London, I remember asking my grandpa, how are you ever going to know if something is 100% right for you? And he said to me, you know what, I don't think you'll ever know 100%, but you just have to leap. You just have to follow your dreams, because the pain of not doing so is so much worse than just taking that chance. And so that's really the way I looked at it. Of course, there were times when I was in London for, the first few months and I was alone. I didn't have any friends. Of course, there were miserable times. But I knew I was following my heart. And whenever anyone asks me right now, why did you move to London? I say quite simply, I knew I was meant to live here. And, I don't know where I got the guts to just pick up and move. My family always traveled with us, and, we did international trips. But at the same time, to move to another country at 23 years old, not knowing anyone, that's pretty ballsy. But again, I've always been one to follow my dreams and follow my heart. And that's definitely what I did. So I have to say that step is number one. Saying yes to your dreams, despite not knowing where they're going to take you. That's really number one to what I'm teaching you in this training series. So whatever your dreams are right now, it's key that you hold on to them and you really give them life and give them a chance. So often I meet women who have been squashing their dreams for years. They've been telling themselves it's not realistic, or it's not possible for me, or she can do it, but I can't. Well, you know what? If someone's out there doing it, it's possible for you too. So I want you to believe that. At least toy with the idea that it could be possible, because I truly believe if someone's doing it, it's possible for you too. Frankly, even if they're not doing it, like look at Apple, it's possible for you too. So hold on to your dreams. They really exist for a reason. And, the second part of this is not letting fear hold you back. One of my colleagues actually uses the phrase, follow your butterflies. And I really, really resonate with that, because so often people feel this fear and they think, oh my goodness, that means I'm not supposed to go there. Well, actually, no, I say follow the butterflies, follow the things that make you that little bit nervous, because that's the good stuff. That's the stuff that will change your life instead of you staying stuck and in the same place that you've always been in. I know for me, when I moved to London, it was all unknown. I had to be a nanny for a while. I couldn't get a real job, or what I deemed a real job. It wasn't always incredible, but I knew that I was I was following the path towards my dreams. And so then I got from being a nanny, I got a job as an assistant. And after that, in a small business, after that, I was a relationship coach. And after that, I discovered coaching. And so it all led to the next step, because I chose to follow my butterflies. I do meet so many women who, again, the fear stops them. And I truly believe that we're all given desires and unique talents that we're meant to use. So whether you have the dream of running your own business or changing careers, whatever it is you desire, your work is really needed in the world. And it's your duty to not let that fear hold you back. So honestly, the fear of not going for your dreams, or the pain of not going for your dreams and being in the same place that you're at, say 10 years from now, I guarantee that fear, that pain is much more than if you give your dreams a shot right now, and don't let that fear stop you. Right. I hope that makes sense for people. So, fear really is in your mind. It's mental. You'll hear me say throughout this training series that really, success is between the temples. So that means it's in your mind, and your thoughts, they can become things. So we'll talk more about that, but I just want you to recognize that most of the time the mind just wants something to do. And so if you're feeling all this fear and you have all these negative thoughts, that's really the mind just keeping you busy and keeping you in the exact same place. So there's a book that I literally recommend to everyone. It's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And the author talks about this exact thing, about how we allow our fear to keep us in the same place, keep us stuck, keep us where we deem safe. When in reality, it's just keeping us away from our dreams, which doesn't serve us. It doesn't serve the world. If you are given these unique talents and you're not out there showing the world what they are, or helping the world, or helping people, then, you are depriving us of you, basically. And this book is incredible because it lays that out so beautifully. Basically, the author talks about the fact that there are four zones, basically, and the top two are the zone of excellence and the zone of genius. And he said, after studying so many people, working with like the top CEOs in the world, he realized that so many of us stop ourselves from going into the zone of genius. And most of the time that's fear-based. And so today I want to ask you, where are you allowing fear to hold you back? Where are you allowing those butterflies to stop you instead of following them? So frankly, I've never, of course I've had fears, but at the same time, I haven't allowed them to hold me back. And I think that's what sets me apart in a lot of ways, because I pretty much, for the most part, I've been like, I'm not going there. Like that fear, it doesn't rule me. I'm going to go for my dreams, despite the fact that they could not work out, despite the fact that I don't know what's going to happen. I've always allowed my heart to take control and take the reins versus that fear. So right now, if you are living in the place of fear, I'm really going to urge you to take your power back and to move forward despite that fear. So that all that fear really is, if we want to break it down even further, is you recognizing that there's something unknown there, or something that's not usual, something that's new. It's not like you're about to be attacked by a saber-toothed tiger, right? Like this is just a fear that we've made up in our minds that definitely isn't serving us. So the next part of this whole training series is, okay, so first, like I said, you say yes to your dreams despite not knowing exactly where they're going to take you. And then the next step is not letting that fear hold you back. So constantly, as you're in your business and in your life, you're going to be up-leveling. And this means obviously you're taking things to the next level. You're doing something different. You're expanding. You're really growing. And there's going to be fears that creep in. And you'll hear me talk about this over and over. So for example, really recently, I had to come up with a very large sum of money for this millionaire program I'm in. And this millionaires program, I just have to say, it's something that I thought I would be a part of 2 years from now. And I was given the opportunity by my mentor to be a part of it. And it's a year-long training program for 10 women around the world. And frankly, I could not say no. But this program comes with an $110,000 price tag. And so I totally could have gone into that fear of where in the world is that money coming from? But I did not allow myself to go there because I knew I had to follow those butterflies. And because I've constantly said yes and not allowed fear to hold me back, that's why I am where I am today. That's why I've created a 6-figure business in 6 months. And so once you really master that and you stop allowing the fear to hold you back, that's going to be you as well. You can be in that millionaire program. You can do anything you set your mind to. You just have to keep moving forward. Even if it's just the baby steps, please, please, please just do anything besides staying stuck. Staying stuck is not serving you. Like I said, it's depriving the world of you and your talents. And it's far more painful than just going for your dreams and giving them a shot. So everything, as the lovely Marie Forleo says, everything is completely figure-outable. And so, we'll figure this out. Just give it a shot, just move forward and stop allowing that fear to hold you back. I hope that makes sense. I really, really want you to understand that. One of my colleagues recently, we were at a conference, and she came up to me and she said she wanted to go up on stage to ask a question, but she knew that we still had like 3 more events left in the year, and so she was going to wait until like the third event instead of doing it right now. And I was like, oh my gosh, you have the chance to be visible right now. You have the chance to get the answer to your question right now. Like, what's stopping you? And she said, I'm scared of being on stage. I'm scared of being visible, etc. And the thing is like, there's no room for that fear if you're trying to do something really big, like make that 6 figures in 6 months. Honestly, there's just no room for it. It's not going to be part of the equation. I completely understand where you're coming from if you're living in that fear, but it's not serving you. So if you want something different, then you're going to have to do something different, and you're going to have to take action. So this is something obviously I'm really, really passionate about. It's all about starting before you're ready. I heard this phrase a while ago, and I'm in love with it. It's all about making things happen now, right? And I'll be the first to admit that I was not 100% ready to start a coaching business. I knew I could help clients, but I didn't have all the systems in place. I didn't have all the website stuff in place. I didn't have all of the knowledge that I have now about discovery calls and how you conduct your sales process or how to run a group program. But I had big ideas, and I knew I just had to get started, and then the momentum would build. So again, I've always believed I've had to do something really big or else I'd literally die, right? Have any of you, I'm sure some of you have felt that way. If you are in that place now where you have to do something big, just start before you're ready. Don't allow the fear to hold you back. You've got this. And you know what? There's people out there that can support you. And we'll talk about that in a second. One of my mentors, she talks about this whole entrepreneur journey as it's like you're building this plane and you're flying this plane and you're building it as you go along. And my husband really hates that analogy because he thinks it sounds very dangerous, which it does. But at the same time, it really makes sense in my mind. You don't have to have everything figured out before you start. Just get started and just get moving towards your dreams. I read in The Confidence Code, which is an incredible book, how women often wait until they're 100% ready. They feel 100% qualified. They feel 100% prepared until they take action. Whereas in the example of applying for a new job, men will apply even if they feel only 60% qualified. Whereas, like I said, women have to wait for that 100%. So I don't know where we got it in our head that we have to be perfect and we have to be 100% ready and that we have to be without fear to even take action. But that is definitely not what I've experienced. And frankly, I would not be where I am today if I had waited until I felt 100% ready. So again, start before you're ready. So many people have that fear of people will think I'm a fraud. They'll find me out. They'll know I'm not an expert, that I don't have a PhD or, whatever that fear is. So the ability to leap does, of course, require confidence. And that's really key. So, what are you the most confident with? When I first started my business, I wasn't teaching other women how to run businesses. Of course not. I wasn't ready for that. But I knew that I could do life coaching and I knew I could do that well. And I knew I was a half a step ahead of the women I really wanted to work with. And so I chose to work with them, so start before you're ready. Where are you that half a step ahead? And where can you really support people with their lives, their goals, their dreams, whatever it may be? So again, you can do this. Don't let that fear hold you back. Just keep moving forward. You will gain momentum if you just start. So, I was that half a step ahead, and then I took a big leap ahead, and then I went even further ahead. And then I switched gears, and then I started working with women who wanted to be entrepreneurs. And now I work with women who have been in businesses before as well, or for a while as well. So you will start taking those quantum leaps, but you just have to get started. So obviously I'm really passionate about that. I hope that makes sense to you. And then the third step to all of this, in this first training series, is all about investing in yourself and your business. So I think it's really funny how, as women, we expect to have money hidden under the mattress or something for our dreams. And most of the time, if we're trying to be entrepreneurs, we are getting into this industry or, into whatever field as an entrepreneur, because we want to have freedom of time. We want to have more money. We want to share our gifts and talents with the world. And most of the time when we first are starting, we don't have the money just laying around, right? So I do get met with the question of how in the world can I invest in my business if I don't have any money and if I'm just starting? And I totally get that. Like when I first started my business, I was really reluctant. I was like that little girl with her arms folded across her chest saying that she's going to do it herself. And then I really woke up to the fact that that was a bit ridiculous and that I was going to spend years playing a business guessing game unless I hired someone to help me put all the pieces together, figure out exactly the best way to make this happen. Otherwise, like I said, I would just be guessing for years. And that's not in service to anyone. That's actually delaying my dreams. That's not what the smart, successful entrepreneur would do. That woman would invest in herself and her business. She would hire the experts. She would know where she is best needed in her business. She would know how she needs to serve the clients and what things she needs to outsource. So frankly, I'm going to say this with love, but you don't know everything, right? So there are most likely people who have come before you who are making a lot of money, they're successful, they're doing things really, really well, and they can help you do the same. And there's no shame in asking for help. Frankly, the smart thing to do is to ask for help. So I think that's really, really key to understand. As women, it's like we want to have like everything together and not depend on anyone. But that's really actually the unintelligent thing to do when you're running a business and when you're trying to take it to the next level, or even when you're just getting started. So, just like when we were in college or university or, getting a master's or a PhD, we invested in ourselves and our training, right? We spent thousands of dollars. Like think about the lawyer fees, think about the fees that doctors pay to go through med school. Why in the world is running a business any different? You have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in your education. You have to invest in your training. You have to invest with someone who knows more than you do at the time. And really, when I realized this, my business completely changed. And it wasn't just the structures in my business, it was also the energy. And I'll explain that a bit. It's a bit woo-woo, but it makes sense if you think about it in the fact of why, especially if you're in a service-based industry, why would someone invest in working with you if you're not investing with working with someone yourself? So take me, for example, I do one-on-one coaching. How could I legitimately say to people, okay, now's the time for you to sign up for my 90-day program. It's going to be amazing. We're going to get tons of work together. We're going to get all these results. How could I say that if I don't believe in investing in my own business and in my own personal development with my own coach? That would be like completely ridiculous, right? Well, when I got that through my head, it made so much sense and the energy shifted straight away. So let me share another example. When I was that one woman show and trying to do everything myself and really resistant towards investing in my business, I was faced with clients who felt the exact same way. So when you're in service-based industries such as coaching or consulting or mentoring, your clients are going to reflect back what you are struggling with. So if you are struggling with investing in your business, investing in yourself, possibly, working with a coach, but putting it on a credit card, then your clients, your potential clients are going to reflect that exact same thing back to you. And that's what I didn't realize. And so, when I had this opportunity to start working with a one-on-one coach, I told her, I was like, I want to find the money. I want to make the money. I don't want to put it on a credit card. I have all this debt. I have all this debt shame. So I don't want to do that. And she's like, Emily, I just want to make it obvious to you that you are saying the exact same thing to me, that your potential ideal clients are saying to you. And she was completely right. There was a period of time where I had 54 people in a row say no to me. And so I finally got it through my head that I had a certain energy around money and investing in myself as well. And they were just reflecting that back. And when she said that, it was like this light bulb went off. And so, I had to go and ask my husband to use his credit card to put it on there. But at the same time, I knew that was the right decision. And literally within days, the energy shifted and I started to get more clients. The other thing that was really cool about that during that time is with the 54 people saying no to me, I really recognized how important it was for me to get that expert help, because I was clearly trying, right? Like 54 people, I had 54 discovery sessions in the course of about 6 or 8 weeks. And that's a lot. If you're a coach, you'll know that's a lot. So I was attracting people, but for whatever reason, I couldn't complete the sale. I wasn't able to energetically like appeal to them and get them, to that point where they knew that we wanted to work together. But then the moment I started investing in myself, in my business, everything shifted. And I felt different in myself. I felt like I was a professional. I felt like I was going to be taken seriously. It's kind of like it's another way of stepping up to the plate. It's like you're telling the universe, I am investing in myself and my business, and this is it. This is happening. I'm no longer playing small. I'm really going to do this. And then your clients start to reflect that back to you. So that's really the way I look at it. And I've seen that in my business over and over. Like when I continue to up level my business, like for example, going into this millionaires program, I knew that would shift so much for me in my business, not just in terms of training, but like energetically, like I would be, this incredible, successful entrepreneur. Even more so because I was paying that $110,000 to really work with the best person in the industry, to align myself with her energy and the way she runs her business and her expertise. And my clients were going to really feel that. So I hope that makes sense. That's just why, that's what I'm so passionate about you investing in your business. And in terms of the finances, it's funny, we have these opinions of credit cards and like I said, and business loans and investing in our businesses, even though we spent thousands getting college educations. And, for some reason, we believe that paying experts stops after 22. And that's a bit crazy, to be honest. Like, I don't like to use the word crazy, but it kind of is. Like, you are trying to run a business that you want to have for the rest of your life, yet you're not willing to work with experts or invest in your training. That doesn't really make sense to me. So I finally got that through my head, and I hope it makes sense to you. Otherwise, we're just playing a guessing game for years, going around in circles. Like I always call it flailing about, just trying to figure out what works and what sticks. And that's really no way to run a business or to build a business. And so if you right now have that credit card shame, think about it this way. It's like if you, when I was the woman who wanted to make the money instead of putting the coaching package on a credit card, someone explained it to me like this. It was like, I was saying, I want a bushel of apples, but not those apples sitting right in front of me on the kitchen table. So that's basically what you're saying. Like, I speak to so many women who don't have access to credit cards. They've tried and they've been denied or whatever it is. And so if you have access to that, that's money sitting right there. Money is energy. And so honestly, you will make that money back when you invest in your business. That's why it's called an investment. When I put my coaching package on that credit card, I made it back within a month. And then literally my life has completely changed in 6 months, I have to say. And my initial investment was $5,000 to work with a one-on-one coach and $7,500 to work in a group program. And so that $12,500, both of those figures went on credit cards, various different credit cards. But I made that money back so quickly, literally within a month. And then from there, my business started taking off, which is why I was invited out of 10 women in the world to be a part of this millionaires program, and why I've grown from, nothing. I made $442 last July in my business, all the way up to 6 figures in January 2015. So, again, this is me saying yes. This is me saying yes to opportunities. I could have freaked out about the millionaire program. I could have thought, oh my gosh, not ready for that, not ready for the expenditure, etc. But I knew in my heart I had to do it, and I did not let that fear stop me. So this is what I really want you to understand. And frankly, if you are in a service-based industry, consumers are really smart. They're going to want to know that you've invested in yourself. They're going to want to know that you are constantly being trained, that you are constantly up-leveling your business, that you are constantly working with the best people in the industry. And that's why they're going to want to work with you. Like, I always tell people about how much I've invested in myself and my business. It makes me look more reputable. It makes people want to work with me, because by working with me, they are, through through a few various degrees, they're getting to work with my coach, who is 7-figure business owner, Gina DeVee, and she's incredible, like best person in the industry, right? So, you have to align yourself with the right people and invest in your dreams. Especially if this is something where you are going for it and you are in it for the long haul and you want to be making that 6 figures. So I don't know anyone who makes 6 figures or more who doesn't invest in their self and their business. Frankly, I can tell the difference between especially the coaches who haven't done their own personal development work and those who have. So again, in the service-based industry, you have to make sure that your mindset is healthy and that you are a healthy person in every way, basically, if you are going to be working with people on their own health, whether it's in a business or mental health or any sort of emotional health, whatever it may be, you have to be at a strong place first to be able to serve them. So I hope that makes sense. That's really, really key. And with that, the fourth thing I want to talk about today is really working in a smart way. And so one of the things that, was really a requirement for me when I first started my business was putting in really long hours. And that was just a reality because I was in my 9-to-5 job still. And I clearly, I wasn't able to leave my that job because of financial reasons. And so I was waking up at about 5 a.m. and working on the business and then going to work. Luckily, I worked from home, actually. So I was working on another business. Or working for another business. And then in the evening, I would also work on my business to try and get it off the ground. So that's a lot of hours. I think I worked about 90 to 100 hours a week for about a year. And that was, I'm not going to lie, I feel like it was pretty much required just because 40 hours of the week were spent on someone else's business. So of course I had to make up the time somewhere. But until I got my own coach and really invested in myself and my business, I pretty much was like playing that guessing game, like I was talking about. And so the hours I was putting in, it was like I was tallying them up, but was I really doing anything? I wasn't always sure. I wasn't sure what I was supposed to be doing. Again, it was that guessing game and that flailing about piece. So when you invest in yourself and your business and you work with the experts, you're going to know that you're on the right track and that what you're doing is not a waste of time. It's using your time really well and using your time towards that end goal, whatever it may be for you. So again, this is about working smarter. And that's what I really realized when I invested in myself in terms of the group program and the one-on-one coaching that I did. And then of course, with this new opportunity, I know that I'm going to be taught exactly what it takes to get to that millionaire level. And frankly, the goal that I set for myself that I told you about in the beginning, about earning 6 figures before my 30th birthday, that goal, it kind of makes me laugh now because there were times when I was like, is that too lofty? Am I going to reach it? And to reach it in 6 months versus 18 months, that just goes to show that what I'm going to be teaching you, it really works. And I didn't learn this by myself. Like I said, I worked with the best people in the industry. So I can't take all the credit, right? But, I've decided to adopt a new goal, which is to be a millionaire before I'm 30. And, I'm working with the best people. So I'm working in a smart way and I'm working towards that goal and believe that it can happen because I've put down the foundation. I've invested in myself. I've constantly said yes to my dreams and said no to the fear. And that's really key. I've worked through it. And frankly, to go from $442 all the way up to 6 figures in your business in 6 months, it's not, I always believed in myself, but it's not necessarily what I expected to happen. But that's what's happened and I'm beyond grateful. And so now it's just fueled the fire for me to dream even bigger. I used to be like the biggest dreamer, I thought, but really this is taking it to a whole new level. And so that's what I want to encourage you to do today. I just want to end on this point. Keep taking it up a notch, keep dreaming bigger, keep believing that anything is truly possible. Because it really is. And so, when I moved to London and I didn't know anyone and I was down in the dumps and didn't really know what in the world was going on, I went to see my own coach, and she actually was called a happiness coach, which was really fitting because I was depressed and in a quarter life crisis. And so she actually said to me, she said, Emily, So this is basically, I should preface this with saying I spent like 4 sessions crying in her office. And so at one point she was able to interrupt the tears and she said, Emily, I just want to ask you a question. Do you know that that you have control over your thoughts? And I looked at her like, what in the world are you talking about? And if this is true, how come no one told me this like 20 years ago, right? And so I took that, and now that's literally a motto that I live by. You know, thoughts become things, and your thoughts and your words create your reality. And so what I started to do at that point is I also paired that with something I learned from the incredible Oprah Winfrey, which was she recognized that things started going better in her life when she focused on the positive and what she was grateful for. So I began a blog, and I started to blog every single day about what I was grateful for, even if it was like I got to go to Starbucks today and enjoy this incredible cappuccino, or I bought myself some flowers, like whatever it was, even if it was really small. So what you focus on, you get more of. And so I saw that in my life, and things started to get better and better and better. I started to dream bigger and bigger and bigger. I started to see the fruits of my labor. I started to see doors opening up for me and opportunities, things I never even knew I really wanted. I have to be honest, like I've always dreamed really big, but most of the time when you're open to being surprised, life will surprise you in an even greater way. And so, you know, one of the things I always talk about is the fact that I met my husband online, and he's British, and you know, I believed in love forever, and I've always wanted it. And you know, so when I got here, I really put myself out there, and I did online dating, and I went on all these awful dates, but just kept going for it, right? Like I wasn't giving up. My husband always says that one of my best traits is that I never give up. But of course, that's one of my worst traits as well. So, you know, I never gave up. I always dreamed big. And I have to say, my husband's even greater than I could have ever imagined. And I see that in my business as well. And so when you have that openness and you have that fearlessness and you have that belief that you are deserving of something good and you are deserving of living your dreams and your desires and achieving the life that you want, and really receive that with gratitude and with an open heart, your dreams are going to be presented to you in a way that's even bigger than you could have imagined. Honestly, like I'm living proof of that. To go from 442 to 6 figures in 6 months, to be a part of this program, this millionaires program. I'm literally going to be traveling around the world coaching this year. I'm going to Sydney, Florence, Paris, Positano in Italy, New York. I'm going to be in the Hamptons. I'm going to LA. And then I'm ending the year with an African safari just for good measure, right? So this is possible for you too. That's what I'm trying to say. So please, please, please remember everything we've just spoken about. So it's all about saying yes to your dreams. It's all about not letting that fear hold you back. It's about investing in your business and really, really being smart about the way that you work, because your time is precious, right? And so we need to be smart about that. So that is those are the 4 points that I really want to talk about today. And of course, you still have 3 more parts to this training series. So I just want you to let that soak in, and then you can move forward onto the next call. And just so you know, the next call is all about your mindset, which again is really key. I had no idea like what was going on when people said mindset, but it's really key. I've done a lot of structural programs, but really the mindset piece, like I said, your thoughts become things, and your thoughts create your reality. So that's really, really key. And then the next training is all about putting your structures and your systems in place. So of course, it's great if you have the mindset, but you need structures and systems to go along with them. So you can't be thinking about like all this positive stuff and bringing in clients unless you have your PayPal button set up on your site, right? So we'll go into that. And then the training series 4 will be tying it all together and really getting into you making your dreams non-negotiable. I'll explain that a bit more, and just getting really clear on what it is that you desire for your life. Because, you know, it's great to be an entrepreneur. It's amazing. It's great to share your gifts with the world. But frankly, one of the reasons why we got into this field is so that we could also live the life that we want. So, you know, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, you know, I just moved into my dream home. Like I said, I'm going to be traveling around the world. I've really designed my life so it's the way that I've always desired. And that's what I want for you too. So we're going to talk about that as well. And I'm also going to share more information about my newest group program called iHeart Coaching. This is one I'm so excited about. We've created it to be a 6-month program that combines mindset as well as building a business, both elements. So you've just learned a lot about mindset in this training, and you can probably see now how key it is to your success. I meet a lot of women who come to me and they say, oh, you know what? I don't need the mindset stuff. I just need you to teach me how to build a business. Well, trust me, you need both. Most of us were not born successful female entrepreneurs in terms of skill level or in terms of mindset. So they really are essential. So literally all of my programs combine both. I really can't do one without the other. So this program will be 6 months long. And like I said, a combination of mindset work and then obviously supporting you in building your coaching business. And so if you're interested in learning more, I'm going to be sharing more as we go through this training series. But you can also go to iHeartCoaching.com right now, and you can see our awesome sales page that has all the information. You'll see that you get a weekly call with me. You get a private Facebook group. You get calls with my husband. He's also a coach. You get a live event with us at the Ritz Paris, which is amazing, seeing that it's been renovated for the past few years and just opened up. And then you get access to our resources. And if you sign up in the very near future, you get access to a bonus bundle, which includes our top converting Facebook ads, 2 trainings by our Facebook ad expert. You get a call with our copywriter that's been recorded. She's also Marie Forleo's copywriter, Laura Bell Gray. And you get savings of $1,500 on the program. So you're going to want to go to iHeartCoaching.com. So don't wait for me to tell you more about it. Go there right now and see how incredible it is. And it really is what you need to get that success that you're really longing for. As you've heard, I created a 6-figure business in 6 months. So please believe me when I say anything is possible. You can knock your own socks off just like I did and surprise yourself in really great ways by doing big things in the world. And coaching is the fastest growing industry after tech in the US right now. So now's the time to follow your dream. If that's what it is that you want to do, if you're looking to support incredible clients all around the world, work from your laptop, travel, make your own schedule, leave that 9 to 5 behind, then this is definitely for you. So go to iHeartCoaching.com to learn more. And like I said, I'll also be sharing more along this training. And today, I just want to thank you for being here. Just by listening to this call and making this effort, you've up-leveled your business and your life. And I want to acknowledge that because that's a really big deal. There's people out there that would have seen this ad or, seen the opt-in for this call or this training series, and they would have just let it pass them by. But there's a reason why you're on this call. I truly believe that. There's a reason why you're listening to this today. All of what I'm sharing with you is meant for you and is possible if it's what is in your heart. So please believe that. You are incredible. You are deserving, and you are a gift to the world. And I'm so excited to see how you progress throughout the next few weeks. I hope you've enjoyed this first call in the 6 Figures in 6 Months training series, and I'll look forward to speaking to you soon. I hope you loved today's episode and that you can see if I can do it, you can do it too. And if you're interested in moving forward with your own coaching business, go to iHeartCoaching.com. Whether we have the doors open or not, you can always get on the waiting list and be the first to know when we have this program available. We'd love to support you in your own vision and your dreams towards creating a life that you love and a business that supports you financially. So until next time, I'm Emily Williams, and I'll look forward to talking to you on the next episode of the I Heart My Life show. We hope you loved this episode. Thank you so much for being an avid listener of the I Heart My Life show. Take a second and leave a review. It would mean so much to us, and we read all of them. And for further inspiration and life and business tips about creating a life that you love and achieving massive success, definitely follow us at iHeartMyLife on Instagram and at iHeartMyLifeNow on Facebook. See you next time.